Hey everyone, what's up? It's Chelsea Van Busker with the Heart AF podcast. Hope you guys are all doing well. Spring is here. So today I wanted to talk about having a spring mindset. I've been walking outside a lot more lately. Walking is one of my favorite things to do. Just being outside and nature and just moving my body is just a really nourishing thing for me to do. And I'm really happy that I've been able to bring that into a more consistent practice for myself and just making that time for those walks. Usually I like to listen to some audiobooks. It just helps me clear my head. Sometimes I just think it's just a great way to unplug and really just show my gratitude for what's around me. And also being in nature, you get to see a lot of cool things. And so right now I've been noticing, the trees are starting to bud, right? Like we're transitioning seasons right now. And depending on where you're at, here in Colorado, like we kind of have what a lot of people call sprinter, right? The spring winter, because usually the springtime is our snowiest season versus winter. But this winter, we had a really unusually cold winter, and there was a lot more snow than there is normally. So I think Colorado for sure is definitely itching to get more of that sun and that warmth on a more consistent basis. But you never know. In Colorado, we typically still get snow in May and around Mother's Day and things like that. So you just never know with us here. So I'm not sure what your weather's like in your neck of the woods, but seeing these signs of spring and like what's coming, right? Like seeing that is just so reassuring, right? And letting us know that spring is on its way, whether if we do get the more snowstorms or not, like the trees are budding and that means that they're eventually going to bloom. And so I wanted to apply that to the season within ourselves and our mindsets and really giving ourselves this space to set intentions for this coming season. And I would like for you to visualize your intentions as almost like the seeds you're planting for what you want to bloom in your life. And I want to give you an example that recently I had invited a close friend of mine to come to this women's gala evening. And we were walking in, and like she stopped me after we got our name tags, and she was like, "Wait, what's your intention for this gala? Like, what's your intention for coming here?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, I did not even begin to think of an intention of coming here. I mean, I just thought it sounded fun, a group of women. It had some awesome panelists that I was interested in hear speak. And really, I was just worried about what I was going to wear, because normally I'm in activewear. So actually getting dressed in real clothes, like that's what I was, worried about. Was not even beginning to think of what intention I wanted to have coming into this event. And so it really had me stop and think. And so quickly on my feed, I was like, my intention is to make some new connections that will, help foster my growth and like my purpose of where I want to go as far as my business, my podcast, that kind of thing, my book. I want to make some meaningful connections, like new connections that I haven't made before. Because some of the people at this event I have met at other events, so I was looking to make two new connections. That ended up being my intention, and that was such a gift that my friend asked me because that really set the tone for the event. Really, I mean, it gave me some purpose, and it was something I think a lot of us don't really take the time to figure out what our intentions are when we're doing specific things. And an intention is very important, right? It can really affect our results on whatever we're doing. I spoke on last week's podcast about the importance of like that mindset and the power of our thoughts and how that transitioned me from having a plateau in my, weight loss journey, and my result was my mindset and my belief in myself and switching that intention, that mindset, that belief in myself that I am making progress. Like this is very easy for me to do, like really believing that and having that intention about my efforts shifted and let me see those results I was, wanting to see. And so it's the same thing. It's like anything we're doing in our life, if we're doing it without intention, then we might miss the mark. Like we might be missing something that could be really great. And so being really intentional and really present with what we're doing. Think about like going grocery shopping, like when you make a list, like you have an intention, right? You have that list to show you this is what I intend to get at the grocery store. And it makes your grocery shopping trip efficient and you're getting everything that you need to take home to make the meals you're going to make, that kind of thing. So think of that like, when you're planning your day, like if you take a little time out the night before to focus on what's my intentions for the next day, for the next week, for the next month, what are the goals I have for myself on a personal, spiritual, work level, relationships, budgeting, finances, whatever it is, like if you start setting intentions, that'll help keep you in alignment with doing the actions you need to do to get wherever you want to go. So, talking about setting our intentions for this springtime and really, visualizing this kind of seeding process of we're going to seed these intentions for this coming season and what we want to see bloom in our lives. I can tell you for me, my intentions for this coming season are, to get out there and do more sound healing workshops because I see how beneficial that is for the people that get to come to that and figuring out ways to bring this sound healing to more people. I want to intentionally get back to work on my book and really figuring out these points where I've been stuck at in writing that and really intentionally get back into the groove of a more consistent writing practice and getting that developed and getting into a writing routine. I intentionally want to keep up with my weight loss journey and getting back to the body that I feel confident and fit and healthy in and feeling comfortable in my clothes. Like I'm intentionally going to keep working towards that. I'm intentionally going to keep strengthening important relationships in my life. Like these are the things I want to work on intentionally and setting these intentions, whether you writing them down in a journal, practicing, manifesting techniques with, journaling like affirmations. I gave you guys a little hint on doing this in the previous episode about how you can write from the end, like your future self, like you're expressing gratitude for it, that you already have what you want. You are seeing yourself from the end, like seeing yourself as already being in the state that you want. So if you want a better relationship, like you're seeing, like, I have an amazing relationship with my husband. Like you're already seeing like what you want and you're stating that as it's already happened. And then you are repeating that. So you're speaking it with intention and then internalizing that until it becomes your reality, right? It's like you have to act as if the end is already here. I've talked about that a lot when you're, learning the law of attraction and learning about manifestation. It's all about seeing from the end. I pull that quote from Wayne Dyer all the time, like he sees from the end. That was what he expressed a lot in his teachings and his writings and his books is you are seeing that it's already there. You're seeing that future self is already here and just believing that having that belief is what helps you get that reality. And it's so true that literally our thoughts create a reality, right? That was something I'm echoing from last week's episode too, is that whatever we think about becomes a reality, right? Whether we want it or not. So again, you have to really get ingrained in you that every thought you have has an intention, whether you want it to or not. So really taking the time to pause and figure out like what are my intentions for this specific moment? Like what are my intentions for this podcast right now, right? My intention for this podcast is to help you maybe flip a light switch in your mind and to help you figure out what intentions you want to set for yourself for this coming season and how you can set yourself up for having more successes and wins in your life and feeling good about life and feeling more joyful and just in control and stepping into your power, knowing that you do have this ability to create your reality, right? Like I want to make these positive changes for you. Like my intention is to create a positive impact with my voice, with my message. So, a quote I came across last week or so, scrolling, through Facebook or Instagram, one of them. And this quote caught my eye. One, because it was from Mark Wahlberg, and I'm always been a Mark Wahlberg fan. I think he's really cute. He might be short, but I think he's, he's my little Hollywood crush, I guess you could say, and he has been for a while. And he really does have great quotes. It's funny because when I was trying to Google and find the quote I had seen on Facebook, he has a lot of good quotes. Like there was like literally hundreds of Mark Wahlberg quotes, and I finally just Googled like the words I remember for reading and I found it. But his quote is something that I feel like I've actually touched on before in one of these previous episodes on this podcast. So let me just read this quote. This is from Mark Wahlberg. God never gives you a dream that matches your budget. He's not checking your bank account. He's checking your faith. So that to me, when I spoke about this, I can't remember which episode exactly, but talking about how whatever dreams are placed in your heart, like whatever your imagination or these dreams, these visualizations you might have about your future and what you want, whatever is in your heart, whatever you were born with, like you were given that for a purpose. Like it means it's meant for you. It means it's in your reach, right? I want people to know that there's not anything wrong with you. Like whatever is in your heart, whatever those desires you have, whether it's your sexual preference or dreams of doing something really big with your life, those dreams are in your heart because they're there for you. And I love how Mark's quote talks about like when those dreams are placed upon your heart, like God's not looking at your bank account, right? He's checking on your faith. And that's something I want to address. And I think that's super important because it's not so much how much money you have that makes your dreams come true, or what your achievements are, whatever, blah, blah, blah. What matters is your faith and your belief in yourself that you can achieve it, that you acknowledge that that dream inside you is possible. And that's a big message I would like to help people realize, is that whatever dream you have is possible for you and it's already there. The dream is already realized. You just have to believe it and then not let go of that belief. Like, you stay strong in that faith and then you watch the magic happen. It doesn't mean you're just like dreaming stuff and it's just going to fall out of the sky and fall into your lap. You do the work, but you have the belief that it's coming, right? Because success does not come overnight. And this is bringing something else up for me in a recent discussion with my husband. So my husband, I think I've mentioned him a few times, but he has grown a business from when he was 19 years old. And we were talking about, a lot of the things that are going on right now. He's under a lot of stress. Like, there's a lot of like things happening, like a lot of fires going on right now. And he's, having to put them out. And it sounds really stressful. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, is it too big? Like, how are you feeling? And he was like, no, like, I love it. He's like, this means I'm growing. And he's like, this is why businesses fail, because they don't hang on. They don't keep fighting when things get hard. And it just reminded me of how God kind of tests our faith, right? Like, when we want something, we are going to be tested to see if we really want it, right? And if we really want it, then we have to like push through and deal with some hard and uncomfortable things. Growing means changing. So at each level up my husband wants to have in his business, when he wants to keep growing his, yearly revenue, that kind of thing, that the more revenue he generates, the more problems he's going to have, right? More money, more problems. That's just the way it goes, right? But he knows that he wants to keep achieving and growing his business. He knows he wants to keep passing on the success to his employees and watching them grow. And he wants to pour everything and being a leader and helping them out. And in doing that, that means he has to deal with some of these hard growing pains, right? Growing means changing, and changing is hard. I was actually listening to a book that was echoing these same things about how, like, if you're trying to manifest something for yourself, you are going to be tested to see if you're actually ready for the responsibilities that come with that, that goal, or the whatever you're trying to manifest for yourself, right? If it's, the body that you want to like change, are you ready to take on the responsibilities to get to that body, right? If you are trying to, manifest like the money thing, right? Like, if you're trying to get more financials, like, are you willing to do the work that it takes to get to that level, right? So it really comes down to having this faith, and not only this faith, but the ability to keep moving forward and to do what you need to do in order to see things through, right? And so, circling back to like the beginning of what I was talking about, is having these intentions, is planting these seeds. Like, what are your desires and what are you wanting to create for yourself? What are you wanting to plant now that can grow later? And really stepping into those intentions, writing them down, and then really having that faith that things are going to come. Because this is the other problem: is you know, let's talk about real life planting. When you're planting seed, like when I do my gardening, I'm planting the seed in the little indoor thing to sprout these seeds that I can later plant in the garden. I'm not sitting there watching it every day, like demanding it grow and like watching it, wanting it to grow like every night. Like, of course, I want to see it grow, but I have to have faith that those seeds are going to grow, and I have to let go and surrender and let divine timing take over, right? And having that faith that these seeds are going to sprout. I just have to give them time. I have to water them. They have to be in that like environment. So like when I'm doing these indoor seed things, I have like this heating pad that this thing sits on. There's like a dome, so it creates like this moisture and humid environment for these seeds to germinate and sprout. Same thing with these intentions, with your goals. Like, you're going to state them and you're going to believe in them and you're going to nurture them, right? And keep your faith strong and keep seeing yourself from the end, like keep seeing that success. But then you're also going to let go and surrender and let divine timing take over, and trust and have that faith. There was another thing that had come up repeatedly for me. Same friend that I'm actually going to talk about later. Her name is Steph. You can find her at Steph Layton Yoga. That is her Instagram handle. She's on YouTube, but I'm going to be linking her page because she has some awesome affirmations and some awesome yoga videos that I actually use. She helps me out a lot. I'm going to be linking her stuff in this podcast description, but she just out of the blue had said, "This reminded me of you." And it was, I don't chase, I attract. And I said, oh my gosh, I have a song on my mantra playlist. I've talked about this playlist before. I'll actually link that in this podcast episode again, too. But you can get my mantra playlist that I listen to on Spotify or Apple. It's a playlist that I've created that has a bunch of different like mantras and affirmations and songs. And I felt great playlist that really helps, raise my vibe and get me in that mindset of, empowering myself. And so one of those songs, the title is I Don't Chase, I Attract. And I have the playlist usually on shuffle. And that song had come up and I was like, oh my gosh, this is definitely a sign to remind me, to stop forcing things. Like, right. I can't force a seed to grow, right? I can't stare at it hard and like force it to grow right this second and to sprout overnight. No, that's not how it works. I have to have faith that it's going to sprout when it's ready. I have to let go and surrender and trust that things are going to happen in the time that they're meant to happen. And it's having that faith that really carries you through those hard times. And so that's really big, is just really having that reflection to not force things, to really let go and to have that confidence of, I don't have to force anything to happen for me. I'm attracting it to me. It's already there for me and it's coming to me in divine timing, and really just having that belief and that confidence that it's coming to me, that the seeds I'm planting, the intentions I'm planting today are going to be sprouting and then blooming, right? Like summer will be here when the season of blooming is coming. So I would really love it if you guys would take some time, and the spring equinox is here, right? We're coming to this new season, and just taking a moment and journaling and setting out these intentions for this next season for your life. And again, they could be in any part of your life that you would like, right? Like I talked about relationships or career, business goals, health and wellness goals, your spirituality goals. Like what are things that you want to intentionally put into practice for yourself, for your own self growth, your own self development, your own spiritual growth, just your own ways that you would like to bloom into the most beautiful self that you can be, right? Blooming into the highest possible outcome for yourself, and how that affects everything else around you when you're at your highest, most beautiful self. Like it's like a ripple effect to everybody that you come into contact with, right? Like when you're in that state, it helps other people around you. It's like this vibration that you give off that just helps raise everybody else up. So I want to invite you. There is a list of 10 affirmations that were specifically created for this episode, for this spring mindset, created by my friend Stephanie. And so I will link that in the podcast description. It's a blog post where you can this PDF. Steph has actually made it into a sheet of 4. So that means you download it, you can print it, and you can cut it out, and it'll give you 4 affirmation sheets. That way you can hand it to, a mother, a friend, your daughter, somebody that could impact, because it's nice to have these little printouts. And I actually have a few that Steph has created that I've gotten from her yoga classes and her newsletter. I keep them in my journals and I say them in my head. I journal these affirmations, and there's just something about, intentionally writing these things and saying them in your head and reading them and writing them. It's putting intention in the pen and the paper. And there's just something magical when you say these things, and, our voice, it's all magic. I like to say, like writing it, saying it, thinking it, all intention, right? Everything we do is just so intertwined and can really affect how things unfold, right? So that is it for this week. I will see you guys all next week. I've got an interview podcast coming, so that'll be fun. And I would love if you share with me in Messenger, in my DMs, or an email, however you want to. I would love to hear if you download the affirmations that I have for you, and if you've set these intentions for this spring season. So happy spring equinox. Let's welcome in this new season of things budding and starting to form. It's a beautiful season, and we're coming into, the next big summer equinox. So that'll be something big we'll do here in a couple months when we get to that point. But for now, let's just focus on setting those intentions, planting those seeds, and keeping the faith. And then again, just, letting go, surrender, and watching things happen, through faith. When things show up for you, it's just amazing. And we can keep that circle going by expressing our gratitude and thinking for the end. And, I'll echo a little bit once more from last week, but actually having gratitude that it's already here. Like, thank you. Like expressing that gratitude for it already showing up. It just already puts things in motion. So stay with an open heart, grounded in that faith, in gratitude. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.